First of all, we have to set the size of the poster. There are different types of sizes, but for today's video I am going to design a square size poster. For a perfect square size, I am setting the amount for 2000 pixel for width and 2000 pixel for height. You can also put 180 by 180. Then set the resolution for 300 pixel per inch. As you won't want to print this poster, we can set the color mode to RGB. For printing, we have to change the color mode RGB to CMYK and keep the other settings as it is. Now press on the create button. A perfect square size background will create. Now we need to create a safe margin inside the square. For creating this shortly, we can create another square inside the box. Now select the rectangular tool from the toolbar and right click on the mouse to set the ratio. After clicking on the background, another panel will appear. And keep the same amount for width and height and press OK. Now press and drag the square to the left top corner of the background. Then drag the ruler lines around the square. If you can't see the ruler, you can press Ctrl R to bring the ruler on top. After finishing this process, do the same for the opposite side. We will only put all of our designs, writings and text, everything inside this box. Now we can delete the little square. Now create a solid color adjustment layer for the background. Here, the color I am taking, you can also copy the code of the color to take the same color in your background. Now press OK. Now unlock the background layer and drag and drop the color layer below the background layer. Now select again the background layer and select the eraser tool. Here you can see an effect in the eraser tool, but you have to download it and I will give the link in the description box. You can check it out. Now try to erase the background as I am doing. Now create a new layer on top and select the brush tool. After selecting the brush tool, you can see the same effect, but by this time you have to change it to soft round brush. Now click on the middle of the image while the foreground color is white. After that, please embed the headphone image on top of the image. If you want to download the items I am using in this video, you can check the description box below. I will give the link inside. After placing the image on top, you just try to set the image perfectly as it is looking so attractive. For our convenience, we can separate them into different groups. I want to merge the background layers into one group and I will name it background. First of all, select all of the background layers by holding Ctrl key and after that press Ctrl Z to group them into one group. Then change its name. Now, if you want to give some shadows or highlights to the image you bring, you can do it from adjustments. By this time I am choosing curves adjustment from the adjustment icon and I will give a little bit more highlights and brightness around the headphone. I am speeding up the process for your convenience. After finishing this process, I want to bring them into another group. For grouping, follow the same process. And I am naming it as headphone. You can ask me why I am grouping. I am grouping them to define separately. Now create another new layer and select the text tool. After selecting the text tool, write the text new arrival and put it on top of the headphone. One thing you have to keep it in mind that designing depends on your imagination and which appears as a new style. The color I am taking for the text, you can get it by copying the color code. Now we have to put a rectangular mark around the text. To create this rectangle, please select the rectangular tool from the toolbox. And after that it will appear with a fill color. To remove the fill color and make a stroke, you can do it from the properties panel. And for the stroke, choose the white color. Now fix it around the text. Now create another text layer and write headphone. And set the headphone text below the new arrival text perfectly. Now I want to give some shadows below the headphone. To create this effect, you just double click on the headphone layer and a layer style panel will appear. Then select the drop shadow and set the shadow using sliders. I'll give the amount on top of the screen for your convenience. Now, create another text layer and write special offer and do the same process as headphone. I'm speeding up the process as you know it. Now, set the text on top of the headphone to look it awesome. Now, group these three text layer naming title. Now, we have to create another offer text right below the headphone. But by this time, I am using the font called Impact. You will find it inside the font panel. Now, follow the process as I am doing and I am speeding up the process. After finishing the process, group the separated layers into a new group and name the group as offer. After that, press Ctrl T to transform the text and set it to the right position. Now I want to create a order button below the headphone. Now do the same process as the new arrival text, but by this time you have to keep the fill color. As the next process are same, I am speeding up the process for your convenience. Now we can put our brand logo left top corner of the image. Now I am creating some little circles and dots to decorate the image. If you want, you can also put some extra shapes, downloading them from internet. Now we have to create a shadow below the headphone to make it more realistic. To create a shadow, click on the headphone and it will bring you back to the headphone group. After that, create a new layer below the headphone image and create the shadow using Soften brush tool and set it below the headphone. Press and hold Ctrl key and drag it down to distort the shadow. We are already finished. Now we want to create a white border like a frame. Now create a rectangle all over the image and remove the fill color. And keep the stroke color as white and increase the stroke. Now if you just change the color from the background, you can see the magic. Now you can keep any color as your choice. So guys, this is for today's video and I think you have learned something new. And by following the same process, you can design any kind of social media poster. And if you find any problem understanding the video, you can comment me in the comment box. I will try to solve the problem as soon as possible. And if you find the video helpful, you can also subscribe to my channel to get more updated videos. So guys, thank you for watching the video and I will come back again with a new video. Until then, keep creating.